Wow. According to this, I've been streaming the whole time. That might be a big hot mess. Um, Weird. No? Alright. I don't know. Hey everybody, sorry about that. Um, that was my friend Lori. She was stopping by to... I have a big, beautiful holly tree that is covered in bright red berries right now. And she wanted to take some home to decorate. And she was coming to clip them. And in chit-chatting about Saturday, when we're going to get together at her house with her beautiful kitchen and double ovens to make cookies with friends, I remembered that after I've had a busy day. I had an oil change, and well, Rob had an oil change, and then I had an oil change, and when he took me to pick up my car, he went to get dinner for he and Fletcher, and I was supposed to go by this local baker that makes sourdough and sells it to pick up 2 orders of bread, 2 loaves of bread we ordered. I completely flaked until I was talking to Lori about it. So, and like, I should have been there 2 hours before. So, yeah. So now I've gone to get the bread. I'm continuing with the cookies. This is part 2. Not because, and I'm going to snooze this ad because they're not making me any freaking money. That'll give us 5 minutes. You don't have to refrigerate this dough or any such thing. So that's not that kind of pain in the butt to make. So you have these little balls that we're going to roll in sugar. I'm using a scoop just for a little scoop to make it easier. So it's 1-inch balls. So they're about that, maybe a little smaller. And you roll them in sugar. I'm going to move this camera. Not sure what that piece of foil is from. But yeah, just completely cover them in sugar. And put them about 2 inches apart on a baking sheet. You don't have to grease it. There was plenty of shortening in the batter. So this is going to make, I don't know, a lot of cookies. But yeah, just roll them so they're even. They only cook, the oven's preheating at 375 right now. Takes like 8 or 10 minutes, probably 10 because these are slightly bigger than 1 inch. The tops will set and the edges are going to start to like crackle, like that classic, you know, when you get ginger snaps and they've got that, they look like they're all cracked. You'll start to see that, and when the cookies are done, and the top's being set, I guess should be pretty self-explanatory if you've ever baked anything. This tool, I do recommend. Even if you don't bake a lot, whenever you make cookies, it's in a batch, right? So it's just a huge time saver. And I don't end up with cookies like all in my nails. And you get a pretty even scoop so they cook evenly. Boop. And this is just plain old pure sugar. You know, I use the Morena I've mentioned before. So that's why it's slightly brownish, not pure white, but any just regular white sugar will do for this. And they're not fussy. And that's my oven. Just came to temp. I said 375. 8, 12, 16. So we have 20 on this sheet. There's plenty of dough in there. Baguette, yes.
It's more like an Italian bread.
Yeah, it's a little chubby for a baguette.
It's a little more crispy.
Well, I just went to get it because I flaked and didn't get it earlier. Lori stopped by to get holly branches, and I was talking to her about Saturday, and like, oh, whoops, I forgot to go eat the bread.
Okay.
So I went, and it was in a basket on their porch.
Ah, okay. So we chuck it in the oven at a high temperature and throw a little bit of
Water in.
the bottom,
Yep.
and it'll crisp it up.
Yep.
Noted.
Now, hopefully, these don't do anything weird because they sat. They shouldn't. They weren't being beaten, so the gluten, won't have made them tough. And it's shortening. It's not butter, so it's not like a pastry where you're relying on it to get flaky from that little burst of steam or anything like that. These should be just fine. I venture to say you could probably refrigerate this dough if you wanted to and make them later. And you could even ball it up and then freeze it. To make ginger snaps another time. I was just watching Kanara talk about that yesterday. And you're better off freezing dough than freezing cookies. Because of the way the freezing will treat them and pull the moisture from them that they won't with so much with a dough. So you could make this into little balls, put it on a tray, freeze them, and then put them in like a Ziploc bag. And then when you're ready to bake them, thaw them out, roll them in the sugar, and then bake them up. Smells good. With ginger snap in it. How many more can I fit here? 1, 4 more. This dough seems really dry to me, but oh, and there's some stuff at the bottom. Well, I think my KitchenAid needs a little adjusting. Got a little crumbliness. I was not careful enough about mixing it, but I had a panic moment of, I forgot to go pick up the bread. It is beautiful bread, by the way. I'm going to snooze ads again. One is a Asiago and herb loaf that we're going to make fancy grilled cheese with tomorrow. With my homemade bacon and whatever cheese Rob's getting while he's at the store. Picking up soda for my son to have while he watches the Game Awards. I'm going to watch the Game Awards after this myself. Pardon my heavy breathing. I noticed the other day with the new lav that comes through, but I did just run and do errands and then go out in the yard and cut holly boughs with my friend. So hopefully these are 2 inches apart. It's going to be close enough. I pop these in the oven for 8 minutes and then I'll look at them. And I'll come back out here with you and make some more dough balls. There we go. $3.75. Like 10 minutes. No sweats. Another sheet pan. Oh, who's dinging me? Opinionated Ladies. I recommend you follow their podcast too. They're pretty fun. One, two. You're going to see about how forgiving baking is. Look at this. Look at this mess I didn't make sure it was all beat up. So if these turn out, which I'm pretty sure they will, I'm going to put these on the plate just to be done with this bowl. You realize that you too can bake. Don't panic. Alright. 8 more. What is... There's metal in here. I got pieces of the shortening wrapper. Hooray! Pro level. Not so much. Oh, dough felt the right texture to me. So, I got some waste in here from not carefully scraping down. My paddle with the scraper on it broke recently. But there is a screw. You see my KitchenAid? Where's... Right in here, in your KitchenAid, that will adjust the beater and where it stands. That mine needs to be screwed around with soon. I will do that. Actually, a friend of mine is looking at getting rid of their KitchenAid because the locking mechanism isn't working and it's gotten really noisy, which sometimes they do, and you have to get the engine tuned or reconditioned. And it bounces and it doesn't scrape the bottom of the, or hit the bottom of the bowl the way it should, just barely hitting a dime. That I know this screw is for. And there's this guy I've been watching on TikTok that sells kits to and shows how to take it apart, refurbish, put the new part in that needs to be replaced generally inside, and grease it up, and fix the lock if it broke. And he's got an accessory kit I'm interested in that screws onto the top part where normally I would screw on things like my grinder attachment that I don't use anymore because I've got a proper separate grinder. But I'm thinking I might get a refurbishing kit and maybe an upgrade kit to just adjust mine. And then the thing that screws onto the front I was talking about, it makes it kind of so there's a handle that goes from this part. It just goes up the top so you can easily grab it to pull it up and down and move it more easily than in its current configuration. So I'm thinking about getting one of those kits for myself, but getting the refurb kit for the future, unless my friend does in fact decide to give hers up. In which case I asked her to, I'll take it. If she's throwing it away, I'll take it. I want to learn how to do this. It would be great, I don't want to practice on mine when mine is functional. So I'm kind of hoping she gives up on it and I get that to play with. Be a nifty skill set to have, and then I would know I know what I'm doing when mine starts to get enough wear and tear that I need to do something to it. The bread people just texted me to tell me where my bread was after I already went and picked it up. I rang their doorbell and I got his wife or something who said, "It's on the porch," and I found it in a basket on their porch. Okay. So, a couple dozen. You could probably get 3 dozen out of it if you made it a little smaller and beat up the batter. the dough better than I did. This step is absolutely, I'm going to say necessary. It's not necessary. You could skip this rolling in sugar, but then it's not going to give you that crystalline aspect that you generally see on this kind of cookie, on a proper ginger snap. And I'm going to have to hang out long enough. After this ad, I'll be able to get the other ones out. No problem. Come pick it up. It's in a basket. Yeah, I know. I was just there. Okay. So this stuff out of the way. Throw away the sugars. Boy, it smells good. And I'm gonna need a spatula. I don't think it says anything about cooling these. One meat on sheet and turn to a rack. No problem. Making big noises. I know. 48 seconds till the ad is over. So I'll help for this. This is the kind of sugar I use. I really like it. It's really inexpensive by Aldi. Even Trader Joe's has it at a reasonable price. Okay. Done with the KitchenAid for now. Done with almost everything. There's the cookie noise. Let's take a look. Oh, not quite yet, almost. I'm going to go ahead and give those 10. Okay, they puffed up into little balls. I want them set a little more, and the crackling is just starting on a little more crackle on the outside edge. It'll be only about a minute. I'm going to bring those out here, and I'll be able to show you. You do want them to cool for a minute on the cookie sheet before moving them to a rack. So, let me see. When I switch cookie sheets with these, I'll bring another rack out. My other rack. Ooh, flying around. Let's give it more space. Got plenty. Oh, my other rack is still in the dishes from whatever I was making last. What did I make? I baked something else, right? 30 seconds. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I guess some of them rolled when I put them in the oven. That's okay. It's okay. Everything's fine. I'm going to go ahead and straight up give the second batch 10 minutes. Because now I know it wants that. And because I just opened the oven, so I got a tiny bit of cool off habit. Look at these. Look. Oh, they're so beautiful. Okay. A minute. Sure. Do you want to time an actual minute? Will we feel better? Again, sorry about my heavy breathing. I'm fat. And then set for a minute and let this guy know I got the bread. Thanks. Yay. I'm not going to complain about the baguette not being as crispy as I want. That's something I can fix. As Rob was mentioning out loud, if you were paying attention, when you're baking your own bread too, if you want a nice crispy, crunchy crust, or if you're going to take a bake from the store, it just tells you put it in the oven for 5 minutes. Even with that, it works. Get your oven super hot. Put that bread in there and just throw like a shot glass full of water in the bottom and let it steam up and the steam burn off, and it will make that hard crunchy crust that you want on like a baguette. So these are gonna end up snappy. They're soft right now. Because they're still hot. But these crackles where it cracked open, that's, you know, it worked. That's what you expect a ginger snap to look like, right? I need a glove. I don't leave them too long on the sheet. They are starting to want to stick. Because with the molasses and everything, they are a sticky batter. But you can see they're starting to flatten out already as they cool. And then when they're completely cool, they will get very crunchy. They're not black on the bottom, but they're close. You could use parchment paper with these, and that would completely prevent that. But I've never had them get to where it was a taste problem. Just throwing it on a cookie sheet. My ancient sheet pan here that's I guess I should get some barkeeper's friend, right, to make these silver again. These are a food service type one I got. This is, I think, technically a half sheet that I got at BJ's probably 20 years ago. Dum, dum, dum. Smells good. I'm gonna see how long they take to cook. I almost wish I had a fan. I got 7 minutes on those other ones in the oven. I could eat one hot. But I really want to be able to demonstrate that we got the snap, because that's kind of the whole thing right now. Was my son was not getting them to become a crisp actual ginger snap, which this recipe will give you, and it's given me reliably every time, as long as I've been using it, which I said I lost track of when I got it and started making them. I feel like it was before I moved here to North Carolina, in which case that's at least 23 years ago, 24, something like that. Look. And if it backfires and they still don't crisp up, we're gonna have a problem. Because what in the dickens? It may be that before they were completely cool, he's been putting them in a closed container, which then all the moisture wouldn't evaporate in order for them to get to their crunch level that we want for a ginger snap. These, can you see the sugar, what it did? With it, it's got shiny crystals on it, makes them very pretty. They seem a little fatter. So if they don't turn out, they're still going to be delicious. If they don't snap because they got too fat to crisp all the way through, that's going to be because of the run out to pick up bread emergency that happened. That will be because that dough, which probably wouldn't happen if you froze it, but the baking soda in the recipe was let to activate and rise the dough longer than it would if I had just immediately baked them. But they feel pretty solid, even just right out of the oven, so confidence is high. Crispity crunchy. I think I'm going to eat one even though they're not to their crisp state yet. Other recipes I have. That have a softer cookie that stays soft, that doesn't get crunchy like these. Has stuff like hot pepper and black pepper in it. They're called prosperity cookies. That my friend Karen gave me the recipe for some years ago. But even in 2 parts, usually these don't take that long. Especially if you have a mixer. I wouldn't necessarily want to make these without a mixer. But I'm spoiled. I didn't have a mixer until somebody gave me one some years ago, and I made everything by hand. What would still be most of my life. Absolutely, I'm sure plenty of you don't have a KitchenAid. A hand mixer isn't going to work for this. The dough is too dense. It's too thick. You could do the first part with a hand mixer, but once you add that second half of the flour, it's a very dense dough. You could see while I was scooping it with the scooper to make the balls, and it holds the balls, how dense it is. No euphemisms intended. Well, they're delicious. I haven't made them in a couple years because my son graduated high school a couple years ago. He's 22 now. So yeah, I think I've been skipping it. One, because he makes so many cookies. I think maybe 2 years ago, I made a batch for him to take to. He basically had a party at his friend's house for his birthday, and I might have made them for him then. But then before that, like I said, just about every year, this is what he wanted to take to school on his birthday to share with his friends. I'm gonna take my hair down now. I hear this oven, which means 1 minute till those come out. Oh, so starting January 11th, please follow Chef John Lee Young, Leung. Although do that now. He's hosting the contest. What's it called? Know It All Chefs? No, that's not it. I don't know. Anyway, it's a contest. It's a tournament that I will be in with a bunch of other chefs. And each Sunday, we will go head-to-head with recipes and trivia in an elimination style tournament. And I look forward to hopefully having your support then. I'll be co-streaming. You can watch that here as well. Let's look at these. They have crackle. Shut off the oven. And the timer. More beautiful cookies. More. Hello. Fletcher's back from the store. What'd you get?
Let's see.
Oh, the Game Awards started, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm on my way to them.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna want to watch those too. I wonder where they're streaming. I could raid into them. Ha ha ha. With I probably have one viewer. I don't even know. I'm not looking. Ooh, Jesus. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna say crisp, crunchy. It's gonna take probably, but you can tell. Crispy, crunchy. In about an hour, when they're completely cool, they will have that snap of the ginger snap that we have been striving for. And this recipe makes really, really easy. If you join my Discord, I will post the recipe there as usual. 2 1/4 cup of flour, 1 cup packed brown sugar, 3/4 cup of shortening, 1/4 cup molasses, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1 teaspoon ground ginger, 1 teaspoon ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves, 1/4 cup of sugar, and the 1/4 cup of sugar doesn't go in the dough. Everything else goes in the dough, and you just roll those balls, 1-inch balls in sugar, 375, 10 minutes. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your support as always. See you in the Discord. I look forward to cooking with you soon.